So I recently tweeted that 82% of good writing is simply great formatting, that 13% is sentence structure, 4% is how you say it, and only 1% is what you actually say. So my source for these highly, highly scientific numbers is just my own anecdotal experiences having written 13 best-selling books. And I thought this was, I brought this up because I got an email from somebody who, I was actually really intrigued to hear their story and dive into it. But the way that they had formatted the email was just so hard to read that I gave up. I can't do this. I'm not going to waste mental energy trying to decipher this thing. And I think this actually happens a lot where people will send me messages and I really want to engage with it, but because of how it's formatted, I won't engage. I can't bring the mental energy to dive in. And so I wanted to shed a little bit of light on this because I think writing is super important, but a lot of times people, they get so tied up into thinking like what they say and how they say it is so important, when in reality, like how you do the thing, like a lot of the invisible, intangible things that people never see or think about are actually a lot more influential than you would think. And so in today's episode, I actually wanted to break down some of those invisible, intangible things that helped me write so many books. Not necessarily good books, but they helped me write a bunch of books. And so for every book that I published, which is, I think we're at 13 now, if my math is still accurate, the reality is that there's like 3 unwritten books, or unpublished books rather, where they weren't good enough. They weren't right for whatever reason. But all that's to say is that like I've written a lot. I've written a lot, and there are certain resources, certain things that really helped me to get to that place. And so in this episode today, what I want to share with you are just 5 resources that helped me write so much. And I think this can be valuable for you guys if you're interested in becoming better writers, or if you're trying to sit down and write a book, or really take out the word writing and apply this to any skill or anything that you're trying to get better at. And there's going to be a way to apply one of these resources to that thing. So here are the 5 resources that have helped me write so many damn books. Number 1 is Evernote. Okay, so Evernote is actually just a placeholder here because I actually don't use Evernote anymore. I did in the beginning for like the first 6 years of writing. These days I use Asana or I use Notion. But the reality is it doesn't really matter what the software is. What it does matter is that you have some kind of note-taking resource, some place that you can keep your thoughts, like a scrapbook. And I like having a software for this. I do use a lot of journals. Like I have a journal right here. If you guys are watching this on the YouTube channel, you can see like I have a journal in front of me. I write into it a ton. But I find like collecting everything, all my thoughts into a digital environment is very, very helpful. So as I'm reading things on the internet, if I'm like, oh, this is inspiring, this is a resource I want to refer to later, or I want to like try and loop this into, one of my chapters, I can put that into Evernote, into Notion, into Asana, and then easily reference it later. So that's number 1, is some way of like collecting information. Number 2, the second resource is Scrivener, which is the software that I use to actually do the writing. I don't use Google Word. Microsoft Word or Google Docs. I don't use a note-taking app. I use Scrivener, which is a software very specifically designed for writing books. And you can use it for writing blogs and tweets and all sorts of stuff. I find it to be one of the most powerful resources out there when it comes to writing. It makes writing really fun and easy and engaging, where, writing is not a task that typically I would say that about. Like I always say that I hate writing, but I love having written. I like being done with it. I like being able to see the words on the page, but the act of sitting down and doing the writing, not so much. So anything that you can do to make it a little bit easier, more enjoyable. And I find that Scrivener is like the best resource for this. And again, like if we remove the idea of writing as the thing that you're trying to optimize and get better at here, the key to takeaway is you need to find a software, you need to find a resource that makes that thing fun and engaging. So for instance, when I was learning to play tennis a year ago, I was like, you know what, like if having the nice tennis racket makes this more fun for whatever reason, like when I pick it up, it just feels cooler. Like I'm going to go get the nice tennis racket, right? And that's what Scrivener is. It's like the nice tool that I feel cool using. And when you feel cool using it, just makes it easier to pick it up and keep using it. Third is a Pomodoro timer. So little guy, you guys have seen this before. I've shown him all the time. And if you're on YouTube, you can see this. This is my little Pomodoro timer. He's like a hexagon or an octagon. I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A hexagon. It's a hexagon where I can push a button. I can turn it onto a side and it starts the timer. Very simple concept. But just having a way of measuring and tracking my progress with a time variable is super important. And again, like if this is tennis, this is having a nice watch. Like time is this component of learning. The more we can compress it, the more we can remain conscious of it and stay in the zone, more likely where we're going to have quality learning and quality progress towards whatever our goal is. And so have some kind of way of actually measuring time, which I know is weird, but it's true. All right, number 4. The fourth resource is my mechanical keyboard. I don't know if you guys can see this. I can't hold it up. It's probably not going to reach to the camera, but I have been writing on mechanical clicky keyboards for the last decade. And again, this is just very similar to the idea that I was sharing before about having the really nice tennis racket or the nice software, is having tools that make you feel good when you use them. It makes it more likely that you're going to do the thing. So if that's going to the gym and you like those badass shoes, get the badass shoes. If that's, playing guitar, like get the nice guitar. I'm pointing to the nice guitar behind me. If that's going to be the thing that makes you excited to play with the thing, to do the thing, by all means do it. Writing like on a mechanical keyboard, for those that don't know, they're the ones that just go clicky, clicky, clicky. They're really loud. Little funny note here, guys, is as I was saying that, I pushed a button on my keyboard and literally stopped the recording. So the thing is, like, having a clicky keyboard just makes me feel connected to my words in a very visceral way. And so I find anything that you can do to connect you with your work more deeply is well worth the expenditure. So my nice clicky keyboard here, I can't even imagine writing without it, honestly. And the last resource I want to share with you guys, and it's one that I've pimped out a million times. So at this point, I should get a sponsorship from Sony, but truly noise canceling headphones, either like the WH-1000X M3s or M4s, something like that. I've had them for 3 or 4 years now, and I can't imagine a world without them. Like, I've always had noise canceling headphones. Those ones are truly amazing, but go ahead and splurge on that, because for me, auditory distractions are like the most jarring. If I hear a noise in the other room, it's going to pull me right off of my flow. And so anything that I can do just to stay in the zone while writing, because writing is a hard task. My mind is looking for any reason to get off track, go anywhere but actually staying in the chair and doing the work. So those are 5 of my resources that I think can serve you. And again, like, this isn't just about writing. This isn't just about being productive. Like, I think all of these, like the Pomodoro timer, mechanical keyboard, headphones, note-taking app, like, these can serve you in all different areas of your life, but you can apply them to like nutrition, to like your physical health, to building your business. Just think creatively about, like, okay, what are these resources that I need to surround myself with that are going to make this activity fun and engaging, make me want to do it? I think that's the real takeaway. Like, how can I eliminate distractions, eliminate excuses, and make this fun and easy? And the easier and more fun you can make things, then the more productive you're going to be. I guarantee it. So those are my 5 resources that have helped me write about publish 13 books at least, and write a few more than that. I hope these are, helpful for you guys. If they are, awesome. If they are not, please let me know. Like, truly, if this episode was complete bunk, and you're like, don't talk about this anymore, like, that was lame, just let me know. I'd love to hear from you guys. Shout out on social media. Like, truly, you guys have been awesome. The support and love that you guys have been showing, fantastic. So keep those the shares, those mentions, everything, keep them coming my way, because it's always cool to see that you guys are engaging, getting value out of this. And as always, I'll see you in the next episode. Stay hyper focused, my friends.